This is our second lesson on the 15 tips for preparing your children and teenagers to impact their world and the world. And last week we did 3 of them. We said, instead of being afraid of the world, empower your children to live in the world. Number 2, we said the children that do not see the parents drawing any joy from their faith will become skeptics of the faith. And thirdly, we said when children and teens are discouraged from finding answers to questions, then they begin to go somewhere else to find those answers, and you should be the one that gives them the answers. Number 4 is, and that's the new one for today, is when children believe they have nothing to offer the Christian community, they will lose the value of being a part of the church. In other words, I think that, I'm not saying I did it right, but, I had a bus route, I took my son on my bus route. When I went out soul winning, I took my son to soul winning. When we had prayer meeting, I took my son to prayer meeting. I wanted my son to feel like there was value in him in the body of Christ, in the Christian community. When they find value in the church, they're more apt to stay in church. And so I encourage you that you would do that. And so involve your children and let them find value. Find a ministry that they can be a part of. Number 5, when children hear negatives from the mouth of their parents about their church, about people in the church, and the leadership of the church, it creates a critical rebel spirits against church leadership. And, I'm speaking that. I'm a pastor. I've always been in church leadership, it seems like. But, as a boy growing up, I'm so thankful. My mom never spoke evil of our pastor. She didn't speak evil of our church. And so I don't have a negative experience about church. I don't have negative feelings about church. I got a great church. But here's what I'm going to say to you is when children hear you talk those negative things, and you may, I know parents say, okay, well, I'm going to tell you kids something, but don't say this to the preacher. Don't say this to your, listen, you need to learn how to be a positive influence so your children don't become rebels and critical spirits toward church leadership. Number 6 is when teenagers feel like their parents do not want to spend time with them, they will find another family. Do you hear that over and over and over? I have families contact me. They're saying, my son goes over to that guy's house. He's always over there with that family. And then I'm not saying that that's all bad. That may be a good family, okay? But here's the thing, is you don't want to forfeit your children to another family when you should be spending time with yours. I was contacted, I'll be discreet here, but I was contacted by a man whose son was rebelling. It wasn't like out drinking and a lot of immorality, but he was on fire for the Lord. And he began to express he didn't want to go to church all the time, and the man got mad at his son, told his son off, and gave him an ultimatum, to get out of the house, or And I understand that if you live in my house, you'd go to church. I know that. But here's the thing I want to say to you about that, and listen carefully. Is what really was happening was that boy was screaming, I need some time. I need some affection. I need some attention. And those 3 things are important: time, affection, and affection. When you spend doing something they like to do, not just what you want them to do, but something they like to do. I told them that. I said, here's what I want you to do. What does your son love? He said, he loves old cars. I said, find the largest old car show in America and get 2 airplane tickets and 2 nights in a motel and some spending money and go do that. Now, you may not be able to do that, but he could do it, okay? I knew that. And he thanked me for it because other people were saying to him, you need to kick him out of the house. You know what? Until you spend quality time with your kids, you shouldn't be pushing them away. Spend time with them, draw them in, quality time with them. They're going to find someone else to hang out with, another family or group somewhere. Number 7, when teenagers do not sense that their parents care about the global picture, it breeds self-centeredness. In other words, as parents, we should constantly be saying, you know what? This is what's going on in the global picture. In other words, needs for Christ in this country or that country, or some type of, you develop some type of missions effort with your family. In other words, you say, I'm going to take my kids to wherever, Haiti, to an orphanage, or Malawi to an orphanage, or to a men's shelter and feed them or something like that. We got a men's shelter here, and they're always looking for people that will come and feed those men, cook for those men, and it's not something you got to do every week, but get your kids where they become more mission minded and see the global picture. Because if you don't, it breeds self-centeredness. Okay, and this is a huge problem today with young people. They've never been challenged with the big global picture and the needs of the world, and them having an opportunity to go meet those needs. So we're going to take up here next week, and so don't miss this. Okay, we got 8 more of these.